Today, we're talking about the real reason why you are procrastinating still. And I wanted to make a video on this because I'm a big procrastinator myself. But once I realized what procrastination really was, I started to gain some of my power back and not be affected by procrastination as much. Most people think that procrastination is laziness. Now, the book definition of procrastination is the action of delaying or putting something off. So I can understand why most people think that procrastination is laziness, but it's not. The real definition for procrastination is the emotional avoidance. So we're not necessarily putting off the work, we're putting off how the work makes us feel. So in today's video, we're going to be breaking down why procrastination is emotional, why smart people procrastinate a lot more, and then we're going to break down how we can be able to get ourselves back to taking action and procrastination no longer has to be a problem. I'm making this video because I'm a bit procrastinating myself. And in order for me to be able to strengthen the area in which I was weak in at one point, I had to actually study procrastination. So the moments where I would procrastinate on specific things, I wanted to know why I was doing it. And it came down to the simple fact that I wasn't necessarily putting off the work because a lot of the times the work is very easy. Like most of people that procrastinate, they wait to the last minute to do it because they feel like they have this urge to get everything done. But the reason why we're putting off the work isn't because the work is hard. We're putting off the work because of how the work actually makes us feel. And one reason that a lot of smart people stay in a position for way too long is because we are understanding that our identity or who it is that we are becoming, we have to get rid of the old person. So subconsciously, what the brain is going to do is it's going to keep us in the position that feels comfortable. So when it's time for us to go out here and grow, we don't want to take the steps or the necessary actions to do so, or we want to put it off because we are okay with being who we are right now. But at the same time, we know that, hey, consciously, I want something more. I want to do more. But the body is used to being able to go through routine and go through the same habits. It doesn't really want to change. Nobody really likes change. So that's why procrastination feels like it is a laziness, but it's really just us avoiding the emotional aspect of what comes after we take the action or who we're going to become after we take the specific action. So in order for me to actually understand what procrastination was, I had to really deep dive and actually study it. And I came to the realization that procrastination is just a form of protection. Our brains are wired for survival, not for success. I know we've all heard born sinners. Like when we come inside of the world, we're born sinners. We have to go out here and we have to, be reborn again. And we have to not necessarily take on the traits of the world, but we have to be able to identify who it is that we are and become the people that we desire to be through growing, through evolution. But our brain is still wired for survival. It's not wired for success. So when the brain feels uncertain about specific things or it feels uncomfortable with specific things, all it's going to do is it's going to pretty much look for relief. And the relief that we have, especially in the year of 2026, our relief looks like delaying our action, scrolling, or trying to go out here and gather more information instead of actually taking action on the specific things. And the problem with that is like, what we're doing is we're delaying small tasks that can be able to move us forward tremendously. And we do this because our brain is trying to protect us, not from ourselves, but our new self. It's trying to protect us from who it is that we are trying to become. So because the brain is built for survival, when it's time for us to go out here and change and grow, the reason why we have that feeling of just trying to delay it and put it off for the perfect time is because the brain is not necessarily certain of what is on the other side of us taking this action. So in a way, procrastination is really fear. And the definition of fear is just a lack of awareness or a lack of knowledge of what is to come. So the reason why we are procrastinating so much isn't because we're lazy people. Like most of us know that we have to get shit done. Like we have to do things. We cannot sit back and not necessarily take any type of action. But in order for us to be able to get to where we want to go, we have to attack this fear head on so that it's no longer a fear, meaning that the way that you can be able to overcome a fear or any type of anxiety, anything that makes you uncomfortable, is by doing the thing, because your confidence, your comfortability is going to come from the evidence that you take, or the evidence that you give yourself through taking action, I should say. So we feel like if I go out here and I just wait to the perfect time to do this, and I feel a lot better to get things done. Or if I put this thing off, then maybe something else will come in and it'll make it a lot easier for me to do this. But reality is, we have to understand that because our brain is wired for survival, it's going to constantly try to figure out what it needs to do in order to stay comfortable. But you are the most powerful controller of your brain. The brain can be destructive, or it can be something that can be constructive, meaning it can either destroy us or we can be able to use it to be able to get us to where we want to go. So after we realize that procrastination is just a form of protection, us trying to protect our new self by staying our old self, then we can be able to really unlock what is going to take us to the next level. Next, I want to talk about why smart people seem to procrastinate a lot more, or why people that have all of the intelligence seems to procrastinate the most. The people that have the most potential are always the ones that procrastinate more. The reason for this is because the smarter that you are, the more pressure that you put on yourself. And what comes with that pressure is, in a way, you're trying to protect yourself, because when you know that you can do something extremely great, deep down inside, you know that if you go out here and you try this thing and it doesn't work, it's going to destroy your identity. And a lot of the times, this is a mental battle that we have to overcome. Because when you're a smart person, you probably are the one that can explain everything. Like, you can explain how to get this thing done. But it's hard for you to actually get it done because you are always waiting for the right moment, or you're waiting for this time to feel right. But the reason why that time never comes and we continue to delay that thing, unless there's something that says, hey, you have to get this thing done on this particular day. The reason why we put things off is because deep down inside, we're trying to protect our identity from failure. And I've been talking about this a lot in my most recent videos, like how most people are more scared of success than they are to fail, because failure is a part of success. And because people are scared to fail, that means that they're really scared to succeed, because they would much rather not fail and stay where it is they are than to go out here and take the action and take failure with the game and use it to be able to drive you towards your success. I'm a person that has dealt with procrastination my entire life. And part of it is trying to be a perfectionist, like trying to make sure that everything is right, the right moment, the right timing. I have all of the things in order. But I had to eventually grow out of the phase of trying to be perfect with everything when I realized that all of us are human and nothing is going to ever be perfect. So because nothing is ever going to be perfect, the only way for me to be able to get better is by trying to be able to take some type of action. But the reason why smart people procrastinate a lot more is because we know too much about the thing. So we're trying to control the outcome before we actually control the input that's going to get us the outcome. But when you understand that, because you are a smart individual and because you have put this pressure on yourself, the reason why you are in a position longer than you have to be is because you are just trying to control something that's uncontrollable. Because procrastination is a form of fear and you try to be in control of the outcomes, you keep yourself stuck longer than you have to be, because you're trying to control something that is really uncontrollable, which is the future. The only thing that we actually have control over is our effort and our attitude towards a specific thing. Effort meaning that you can put your best foot forward regardless of the circumstance that you are in. Attitude being your perspective and how you're going to be able to look at this thing, whether it's good or whether it's bad, for where it is that you are right now. So if you want to be able to grow, you can't worry about trying to control the future. You got to control what you can control, which is how you show up in the mentality that you have. Everything else is going to reveal itself in the right time. And you being a person that has all of this information and all of this data is not going to be good unless you actually use what you know and you take action on the things that you know. Because the best teacher in life is always going to be experience. You can go out here and you can be book smart and you can know all of the things about every little thing. But unless you actually take some action, unless you actually put yourself in the realm of failure, in the arena of failure, and you're okay with failing, you're okay with learning, because that's all failure is. FAIL is the first attempt in learning. If you understand that failure is just an attempt in learning, and the only way for you to be able to learn is through experience, then you won't fear failure anymore. And if you understand that the way that you can be able to get over fear is by being able to just face it head on, whatever is making you scared, whatever is giving you anxiety, facing it head on so that you can prove to yourself that this is something to not be scared of. Once you get to that point of being able to look at life and being able to take action in that way, then procrastination is not something that's going to control you. You're going to be able to control yourself and how you actually show up. You going out here and trying to be perfect, all it's doing, or you chasing perfectionism, all it's doing is just causing you delay. Because most people have to understand that when you procrastinate, all you're doing is really waiting for the perfect timing. That's why when we were younger in school and we know that, hey, we had this paper due at the end of the week, we wouldn't write the paper until the night before because we felt like, hey, I don't have any other time to do it except for now. This is the perfect time to do it. And it seems like you got things done a lot easier when you waited to the last minute, but you really just wasted a lot of time and potential because you waited until you didn't have any more time left in order for you to get the thing done. And although you may have felt like this was something that is good, you could have been a lot better if you had went through and actually used procrastination as a form of preparation. Most people don't realize that procrastination is disguised as the fear of preparation. Meaning that, again, going back to this fear thing, we fear preparation because preparation causes us to change. We fear growing because we fear changing. And it's something that, of course, consciously, we're not looking at it as I'm fearing this particular thing, or this is something that's keeping me scared. But when you delay or you put something off, it's a form of fear because you don't want to let go of who you were. So being able to get over the fear, being able to get over perfectionism, being able to get over procrastination, it all starts with understanding that you're only going to get better if you actually take some type of action. So how can we be able to break our procrastination and be able to get back on track? The first thing that we have to do is we have to lower our emotional barrier. And then we have to focus on starting small, because action is what's going to actually create the clarity and give us some type of momentum. If we never take any type of action, we're never going to get clarity and we're never going to be able to build or expand upon what we actually know. So when you lower the emotional barrier that you have, meaning that how you feel about getting the specific thing done, although in the beginning it's going to be a lot of high emotion. It's going to be a lot of us trying to get this thing done at the last minute because that's when our emotions is the highest. And that's when we know we have to get it done because there's urgency and scarcity. You got to set a standard of being able to know when to get things done and just starting to take action in some type of small way. So instead of trying to do everything all at once, being able to just accomplish and get in your small wins is what's going to help you procrastinate. And now that or stop procrastinating, I should say. And now that you know what procrastination is, now that you know that procrastination is a form of fear, now that you know that the only reason why you're procrastinating is because you're trying to be perfect and wait for the perfect moment, the perfect timing, the perfect way to be able to do all of this stuff. Now that you're aware of it, procrastination is a choice. Before, we thought that procrastination was just a form of laziness, or we're just putting this thing off just to wait to the last moment. But you're aware that procrastination is an emotional avoidance, and you're not necessarily avoiding the work, you're avoiding how the work makes you feel. We all know that once we actually get those things done, that we feel a lot better each and every time. The work isn't necessarily the hard part. It's never really the hard part. It's the mental battle that we have to get over, of feeling like the work is going to be hard, or feeling like I need to wait until this right moment to be able to get the work done. But procrastination is all a mental battle. So now that we know what procrastination is, and we know that procrastination doesn't appear, or we procrastinate just because we're lazy people, but we procrastinate because we avoid discomfort. The solution is never going to be motivation, because motivation is just a feeling. It's something that comes and goes. The solution is going to be learning to take action, even when things aren't perfect, even when things aren't comfortable, even when things feels like it could be a little bit better. When you have that feeling and you're aware of that feeling now you know that this is the moment that I just need to get things done. I need to take action. I need to do what is necessary in order for me to be able to get closer. And understanding that we all have our story that's already written for us. So if we procrastinate, we're just delaying how long it's going to take for us to arrive to the destination that we're looking at. And the only thing that procrastination gives us is us feeling comfortable so that we don't have to change who we are. We can stay who it is that we have been. Now that you're aware of that, you have the power in your hands and you can go out here and be great. And you can go and take action on the things that's going to move you forward to wherever it is that your goal is, no matter how big or how small. Lower your emotional barrier towards getting the things done and focus on just taking small steps, because action is what creates your momentum and it's what creates the clarity for you. And the only way for you to be able to get better is through action. So that's going to go ahead and conclude today's video. I had a lot of fun. In the next video, we're going to be talking about the angel of fear and how to be able to just overcome fear, because I feel like fear is something that holds all of us back. But fear is something that can be controlled. It's something that cannot, or it's something that we can control by being able to put ourselves in the position to not be affected by fear. So if you like this video, like, subscribe, and share it with somebody else so that it can be able to impact them as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one.